I always listened to the training I was given. I've always done that. Always thought that if I'm spending this time doing it, then I might as well take away something positive. And I guess I was lucky. I started work in a shoe shop in 1983, and we were taught then how to ask customers questions. And then I was taught that again in estate agency and the brief period I spent in financial services and so on and so forth. And asking customer questions before you suggested a solution to their questions. So in the shoe shop, if a gentleman was looking at a particular shoe, we would start by asking him what it was for before telling him about how good the shoe was. In fact, we might not tell him how good the shoe was. We might suggest that another shoe might be more sensible. If he was working outside or whatever it happened to be, we would ask people what they were going to use the shoe for. And if someone said it's for a wedding or special event, we would then ask, and do you intend to use it? Do you intend to use it? Do you intend to wear the shoes after the wedding? Oh yeah, I'm going to wear them for work. Okay, so you want something that's going to last a little while as well as look good, sir. Have I got that right? And having asked those questions, you were then able to suggest something that would suit them. When we went to take on a house in a estate agency, we would ask people how quickly they wanted to move, where they were planning to move to, what was the purpose of the move, because then we could understand what marketing strategy to propose for them in terms of where to pitch the price, whether it needed to be so it would sell in a few weeks or whether they had a little bit longer to wait. And if someone was looking to buy a house, we would ask them loads of questions first, where they worked, because there was a better end of town to live for working in particular places, if it came up in conversation, whether they had kids, if it came up in conversation, what religion they were, because there was a Catholic school as well as the other schools in town. So in asking those questions, then we were able to propose a potential solution. And I think that's a lost art, certainly from what I'm finding, that what people are doing is trying to sell me something before they find out whether I need it or not. And that's been really interesting to me. What happened to getting into conversation with people, asking them about what they might need, and then if your service is a solution to that need, then proposing that service as a solution. And it might not be. You have to be honest enough to know that what you've got isn't for anyone. It isn't for anyone, isn't for everyone. That's what I meant to say. I'm getting so many LinkedIn messages which go straight for the sale. Once again, telling me about what they can do for my staff, for example. That's something that keeps coming up. I don't have any, so on and so forth. People are trying to sell things before they find out whether the other person actually needs that service or needs that product. Asking people what they were using this, what they were wearing the shoe for, I don't know why I keep saying using, asking people what they were going to wear the shoe for meant that it was a win-win situation. We were then offering something which would work for that particular use. The customer was getting something which they would get value from, and we were getting the sale. And then because we built up the trust, because we were offering the customer something that was actually useful to them, we would probably get the upsell as well. None of this stuff is lost on me now, 35 years later, blimey. 37 years later, I still remember that stuff. I always took something away and actually put the training that I had into practice. So 2 lessons. If you've engaged in training or training courses or anything like that in the past, they ain't worth nothing unless you put it into action. And secondly, what happened to asking people questions before you propose a solution to them, finding out what people actually need before you try and sell them your service as a solution. Some early morning thoughts whilst I'm sat here in the kitchen.